Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the McGonagall Boxing Podcast. We are live from the studio in London, so any mistakes, I make no apologies. We shoot from the hip, we shoot with passion. Let's get straight to it. Abel Sanchez, Triple G's long-term trainer, and let's be honest, father figure, before obviously departing with Triple G last year, has come out in an interview today and says he does not want to see Triple G taking on Canelo in a trilogy fight. Triple G is now past his prime. He's too old. Canelo is still in his prime and now is a bigger man, and he fears that Triple G will get hurt in that fight. I have to say, I totally agree with Abel Sanchez. No one's going to know Triple G better than Abel Sanchez, and he knows how dangerous it is for Triple G and his fighting style. Remember, he's not a Mayweather kind of style where very defensive, doesn't take punches, low risk, uses jab, uses speed to stay out of range. No, Triple G is a high risk, high pressure fighter. He goes straight into the fire, similar in a way to Mike Tyson's peekaboo style. He comes head on, and he goes looking for you, doesn't he? And he's happy to take one to land two himself. Now, that is great when you're a young man. Look at the pressure fighters, like a Foreman, a Fraser, a Tyson, or even a David Haye. Not quite as busy, but explosive and still, a big puncher. All these fighters have a shelf life. They don't have longevity like a defensive fighter, like a Klitschko or Lennox Lewis or a Mayweather, who are cautious, safety first, who seem to peak later on in life and go on. And this is the problem with Triple G. His style does not lend itself to aging well, and that's been evident over the last 2 years. In his last fight against Derevchenko, very tricky customer, there's no question about that. Unbeaten, 13-0, very highly skilled amateur. It was a dogfight, and let's be honest, it could have gone either way. I think the fact that Triple G hurt and obviously floored Derevchenko early on was a decisive factor. Otherwise, it'd have been anyone's call. In some say he was fortunate to win that fight. Derevchenko, very highly skilled amateur, obviously in the camp of Lomachenko and Usyk, good friends with them. So you're expecting a tricky customer, but he exposed an aging Triple G, hit him, hurt him a lot, and in many ways it's lucky that Derevchenko isn't known for being a big banger. Looking at his record, you can see that he's not winning a lot by outright KOs. Some he's winning by, technical KOs, but there's not, one concussive punch power. Canelo has the ability, like he did against Kovalev, a similar vein, aging champion, pressure fighter, to knock you out in one punch. And this is what could happen with Triple G. Now, I think Triple G is a better fighter than Kovalev, better stamina, can take a better punch. He's not as what we say called chinny, but of course, even the great chins go in time. The classic example, we know it's a different sport, but UFC, Chuck Liddell, had an iron chin. But slowly but surely, age starts to wear on you, and he eventually had a glass chin. And that happens a lot. Even Holyfield, iron chin. Towards the end of his career, got stopped by an aging Tony, got wobbled in numerous fights, got wobbled against Ruiz. That just wouldn't have happened in his prime. So I totally agree with Sanchez. I think that Triple G is still a world-class fighter, but he's not elite. And I would avoid Canelo now. I think that's been and gone. He clearly beat Triple G in that first fight back in 2017. Ultimately, as always with Canelo, the Vegas judges favoured him, and Triple G got robbed in that fight. No question about it. He dominated, he hit, he hurt, and he bossed that fight. Second fight, very, very close. Could have gone either way. I wasn't outraged, and obviously I was expecting Canelo to have the decision. I felt Canelo made adaptations. He wasn't getting caught as much. He was countering Triple G more, and he definitely won the first part of the fight. However, Triple G, being a great fighter himself, readjusted and started to solve the Canelo puzzle late on. Because Canelo is not, in my eyes, unbeatable, and he hasn't got the gas engine of maybe a Floyd Mayweather. He does have chinks where you can catch him late on, and this is what Triple G did. And I felt Triple G did enough to win that second fight, but the Vegas judges, I wasn't surprised, gave it to Canelo. So you have to ask yourself, a prime, well, not quite prime, but a far better version of Triple G couldn't stop Canelo. Canelo, who was at the time a smaller man, at that time getting used to the middleweight. Now, he's a bona fide super middleweight. He's even won the light heavyweight title. He's filled out, he's a bigger man, he's punching bigger, he's more experienced. Arguably his boxing skills higher. And it's just a dangerous fight all round. There's no, in my view, chance Triple G can knock Canelo out. So at best it goes to the judges, and then ultimately it's going to favour Canelo again. It's Vegas judges. He is now the money fighter. He's going to be around for the next 5 years. Triple G's probably got 1 year left in him. So it's just, unfortunately, it's just financial sense they give it to Canelo. So there's just no reward there at all for Triple G. He's already signed his multi-fight, multi-million pound deal with DAZN. He doesn't need the money. He's cemented his legacy as a world champion. He's already got a title belt, so he doesn't need to be chasing anymore. He probably know what he is being a great champion. He's angry. He wants his revenge. But unfortunately, sometimes you need to know when to walk away from a battle. Fighting Canelo, as tough as it is, he needs to swallow his pride and go, okay, I'm not fresh enough anymore. I'm not young enough. I'm getting hit more. My punch power's going a little bit. If you notice, the last couple of fights he's had have gone the distance, barring Steve Rolls, who really was a tune-up fight. And look what he did to Triple G early on. He caught him and buzzed him. Derevchenko buzzed Triple G. At times in the second fight, Canelo buzzed Triple G, hit him hard. So, the last 3 fights he's been taking punishment. But his iron chin and his will, and ultimately his skill, he's still got him through it. But it's only going to be a slow decline now. I can't see Triple G getting any better, whereas I see Canelo possibly still getting better. Not much better, but possibly. And he's certainly not going to be declining right now. I think he's got at least another 3 years before you see that. So it's just not a good situation for Triple G. I totally agree with Abel Sanchez. I'm hoping Jonathan Banks, and I believe he's agreed with Abel Sanchez, that it's not a good fight for Triple G. I would like him to, if anything, fight maybe Danny Jacobs again, who hasn't got the punch power of Canelo, the stinging, aggressive counter-punch style that's going to, really hurt you if you make mistakes. And that's the worry, Triple G not seeing a Canelo punch come anymore. His reflexes being too slow. But Danny Jacobs isn't going to hurt Triple G like I feel Canelo would. You give Triple G a fight against any of the current middleweight champions, who he's still good enough to reign supreme in that division. You've got all the belts up to play there, especially with the likes of Billy Joe and Danny Jacobs moving up. There's a big vacancy there, and he could still unify the middleweight championship. I just don't see him doing much in the super middleweight division now. I think that's a very strong division. So it'd be foolish for him to move up. He'd be a small super middle and he'd be up against it. But, I just, avoid Canelo. That's the key thing. Do not go to that Canelo well again. There's too many things that can go wrong in that fight. So yeah, I mean, pretty much that's my take on things. It'd be interesting to know what you guys think. But personally, I find Abel Sanchez and what he's saying totally right. You know, he could get seriously hurt in a trilogy fight. So let me know what you guys think. I think that Triple G needs to just stay away from Canelo, stay away from the super middleweight division. I'm just looking at possible fights, see middleweight champions who are available that could maybe take on Canelo. Triple G. Chris Eubank Jr., that, not really. Charlo would be a good fight for Triple G, I think. Andrade, still WBO champion, but he's talking about moving up. You've got Canelo, he's still a WBA middleweight champion, but like I said, don't really want to see that. Murata, Japanese, regular WBA champion, will be a good fight. Again, I like Triple G's chances against that. Charlo's a tough fight, but I like Andrade. I think Triple G could still beat him. Andrade's very flashy and streaky, but hasn't shown a lot. I know he's 30-0, but not convinced of him yet. He certainly doesn't have any punch power to really hurt Triple G. So I like all these. I think Charlo will be tough, 30-0, quick, slick. Not a good matchup, I don't think, anymore for Triple G. But certainly Murata, Andrade, I like. Let him, go out with his head held high, Triple G. Let him unify the middleweight titles. Nice payday, low risk. And at 38, that's exactly what you want. Be smart. Eddie Hearn, be smart. I'm sure he will be. DAZN, be smart. I'm sure he will be. Don't force. I know you're paying Triple G big bucks, but don't force him to fight a fight that he's going to be up against that could seriously hurt his health. Be smart. Go after Murata. Go after Andrade. And if worse comes to worse, go after Charlo. But avoid Charlo and Canelo for me. And, go out with a bang. All right, guys, that's my thoughts. Respect to Abel Sanchez for caring about his long-term protege, Triple G, even though he's not with him anymore. Full respect. What a great coach he is and what a great man. And Triple G, great fighter. Just know when to bow out. All right, guys, I'm out. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.